Hey guys, just wanted to give you a quick disclaimer here before we started our video. Xenogears is an intricate narrative that serves as an extensive commentary on the human experience and explores various religious themes with a particular emphasis on ancient concepts of religion. It's important to note that the portrayal of religious ideas in this game reflect a unique perspective rooted in Japanese culture and philosophical traditions, which differ from common Western conceptions of spirituality and divinity. While the game engages in many thought-provoking topics, we do not intend to impose or endorse any specific religious beliefs. Dan and I hold different opinions on religion, and our aim is to create a safe environment for objective discourse that encourages contemplation rather than advocating for any particular worldview. Our hope is that you will approach this playthrough with an open mind, recognizing the fictional nature of the narrative and respecting the diversity of viewpoints presented within. These themes are meant to provoke thoughtful reflection and contribute to the overall broader conversation on what it is to be human. Hope you enjoy.
Hello, I'm Dan.
And I'm Austin.
And we are here to play games.
Menacingly. I mean, bad.
Bad? Menacingly?
Yeah. Well, last time there was that very menacing smile from when the cutscenes and stuff.
Yep, menacing cutscenes. It's true. It's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a lot to unpack from last time.
Yeah, there's plenty to discuss, but welcome back to our viewers to Xenogears. We are going to be heading into the Black Moon Forest and doing some unpacking, I think, of what happened the last time with the village formerly known as Lahan there.
Right. I actually wrote out questions, which I'm not asking for answers here, but just so that our audience understands where I'm sitting at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the two things as I was editing our last episode that really stuck out to me was the main question of what or who is Citan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he says some really out-of-pocket stuff for somebody who's just a regular dude.
He sure does.
Like when he's talking about Timothy and Alice getting married, he says it might actually be better to live an ordinary life in this condition as a son of man.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's son of man is a really common used expression, especially in like Christian literature,
Mm-hmm.
or like when you think of like the language in the wardrobe, right? They say son of Adam, daughter of Eve. Son of man is often used in that kind of same thought process.
Right.
So he clearly seems to be something other. If he's using that kind of terminology, my first thought was like, is he some type of angel or like celestial being?
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not that, what if he is human, then is it possible that he is like maybe bonded with an angel in some way so that he is something more than just the sum of his parts, I guess?
Right.
So there's that question. And then the other question I had, was like, what does Citan actually know about Fae? Because he also says a lot of very interesting things about Fae, as if it's not a question, but a statement of fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Faye was talking about the music box, and he's like, I don't know, I feel warm when I hear this music, and Citan says, that may be because you have someone living inside of you, and he too must have liked this music a long time ago before he became a part of you. That's not a question. That's not like a rhetorical, like, I don't know, maybe you got something inside you from a past life. No, he's saying there's a person inside of Faye.
Right.
And
what does that mean?
Right. Like, what is happening here?
What does Citan know?
Right. What does he mean when he says that Faye is bound by the dark, cruel destiny of God? So,
What
no
does
answers.
That mean? Yeah,
but just kind of as a soft recap, these are my questions, having never seen this story before.
Right.
Maybe these are some of the same questions that you, the viewer, are having as well.
I would be surprised if those weren't questions. You start to
Right.
get all this very heavy language coming from Citan, as well as just some pretty intense events besides.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? And I found it interesting with the, what is this person? Are they bonded with an angel? And the idea of the Son of Man language is pretty salient, I think, for, like, what exactly are we talking about? What is Citan saying here?
Right.
Just a note, just a combat note. These are armor grubs. So I'm sure you noticed before in the previous fight here, but every hit does 1 damage, right? So even combos, death blows do that. So the best way to kill these is to do 2 of these, just 4 triangles. Because they have 8 HP, and no matter what you do 1 damage to them with every strike.
So why triangles then versus like an X or a square?
Right, so square will take up, so this will take up my entire gauge if I do 2 squares here. And it does 1 damage, so you will do more damage with 4 triangles.
Right, because it's 1 no matter what, and those cost the least amount of points to use.
Right, so you can get more of them in. 4 triangles will do 4 damage, Raijin will do 2, 2 squares will do 2.
Right.
Yep.
Got it. All right.
Yep.
Got my notes out to take more questions down, because I'm sure I'll have plenty.
More questions!
Okay, did you get the Aquasol on...
No.
So, from the entrance, in the kind of like southeasterly direction, there's like looks like a path that you can kind of walk up into. Maybe it's a tree trunk or something.
Yeah. Been a while since I've done this. All right, that's the entrance.
Head south along the cliff wall until a few rock formations appear next to a log. And you can use these as stepping stones to get to a higher vantage point and get the Aquasol that way.
Yeah, so we're going to try to grab that here. There's not a lot of treasure in here, but we want to grab everything we can get, of course.
Of course.
Pew, 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 pew. You can't damage me. I'm the main character.
Yep. And I know we had the disclaimer at the beginning of this video and the last one, but just make sure you guys are paying attention to that as we progress, because it's important for us that you know where we're coming from.
Yeah.
Right, with these stories.
Yeah, personally, I just find it all very intriguing that we're touching on all this subject matter.
Right.
And when it comes to kind of just what's happened so far, it is very interesting. I believe what I need to do here is drop down.
It's right there. Yep.
Yeah. After fighting. More fights!
Yep. In case you're curious, the maps we're using are made with ASCII.
Yes.
Or the ASCII.
Yeah, ASCII characters. You can use your keyboard to make maps like these. They're in GameFAQs, Shotgun Nova FAQ, so it's a good fact. I've used it before in this game. There are quite a few
spoiler-free ones, so
yeah,
allows me to be helpful.
Yeah, helpful because again, Austin has not experienced this narrative, so we hope you're enjoying the juxtaposition, because I know what's happening. All of the implications, and he is tracking exceptionally well, if I do say so, as well as asking some very interesting questions. So.
I probably have at least a little bit of, I don't want to say a leg up, but maybe like the tiniest advantage with this topic, both because of our shared history in religion, but also in our shared experiences with things like Neon Genesis Evangelion, and even games with like Persona 5, right, which have some light touchings of some of the stuff that you've mentioned are going to be touched on in this game.
Yeah, I do feel like Persona 5, playing that before playing this game is sort of a weird. It's certainly not an intended thing, obviously, because Persona 5 came way later, but
right.
You end up with, hello, hey buddy, what you doing?
Get him.
Going up to the save point, showing me the way.
Yep, he's showing you how to jump.
Now
I'm gonna beat him up after he showed you how to jump?
Now I'm gonna beat him up.
He was so nice to you.
But I need my hob jerky.
All right, fine.
Fine.
Right. Anyway, you were saying playing Persona 5 before
Yeah, and this will become, if you haven't played this game before, I do feel like, I don't know that Persona 5 draws directly from this game specifically, but it draws from similar sources, and sort of always has if you've played the Persona series, or the Megaten games, Shin Megami Tensei. There's a lot of similar stuff, but Persona in particular, even in the name, has some similarities to some of the content of this game, which is very interesting.
Yeah, the Shin Megami Tensei series have always kind of pulled from a wide range of religions, right? Like all the different
various mythoses, demons or personas in Persona are from varying faith traditions, mythological figures,
right?
Stuff like that.
Which is why you can have an angel and Shiva in the same party,
and they're all just demons. They're all demons.
All
it's
right.
fine.
Right? Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Well, that actually harkens back to my discussion about the terminology God in our first video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that God is used so widely in a different way in the Japanese language.
Yep.
Demons the same way. It becomes more of a context of what or how they interact with people, I guess, and their drive than it has to do with their actual like physical capabilities.
Well, and what do the words mean, right? Like, so it's similar to, we were talking about Citan's name, which may have been an allusion to a djinn. Could be a mistranslation or a localization difference on shaitan, or similar to Satan. But where does that term come from? What does that term mean? And what does that mean? Does it mean anything for the character? Who knows? Maybe it does. Maybe it does not. As you'll see as we go through this, not every... So a lot of names have meaning. Some of them kind of don't. But I don't think, at least, that, our beautiful square king here, Fei Feng Wong, I think that's demonstrative of not every single name is going to tell you where somebody stands in the plot, but it is a very interesting... You learn a bit about a character, potentially, from their name as well.
Right.
It's a very interesting thought. And when you get to the kind of the end of this narrative and you see how things turn out, it's like, oh, okay, some of this stuff makes a lot of sense.
Right. Oh, we've talked before that names have meaning and have power, right?
Nameology.
And, yeah, like, I don't know if I'd buy into the full, you can control a thing if you know its name. Like the extent that the extreme extent that nameology can go, but I do think there is some value in it, and understanding and identifying things, right?
Right.
And having a name for them helps you solidify your interaction and your relationship with that thing.
Also, just to call out here, Bizfruit, which you can get from these armor grubs, restores 10 EP non-battle, kind of like Hob Jerky with HP non-battle. So if you're hurting for that a little bit, you want to do a lot of skills like that, you can farm that up as well.
Ah, there he is. I was about to say, we should be looking for a Hob.
Yeah, and he's standing directly in front of a kind of big boulder there.
Yeah, you might want to make sure you move out of the way as soon as he's gone.
So do some square practice here. This is the Square King.
Yeah. Maybe he's called the Beautiful Square King because of pushing the square button to kick things.
Perhaps. Perhaps he is the king of Squaresoft. I don't know.
Oh. The king of Sweden.
Sweden.
King
of Sweden.
Yep. And it's kind of crazy to think. Like, when I think of Square, I think of Square Enix now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I often forget that Squaresoft existed, or Enix specifically existed by itself.
Oh, yeah.
Before the other direction should be an Aqua Soul.
Behind where the boulder was?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or at least an item. I'm pretty sure it's an Aqua Soul. Or not. Okay.
Falnarantak.
Gesundheit.
Throw down your weapon. Make one wrong move and I'll shoot.
Okay. Well, at least she knows our language, whatever she was speaking.
Turn around.
I said turn around. Sorry, I was distracted.
No, don't worry about it. She's not pleased and has a gun.
Yep. Are you shaking? Mysterious woman. Be quiet. You don't seem to be one of the Kislev soldiers who are after me, but... Don't move. I have orders to kill all surface dwellers, lambs I come in contact with. Interesting.
Second time we've seen the term lamb. The first was in the gear before.
It was kind of spelled out for us this time.
Yeah, the gear specifically was tuning itself to lamb dialect, and she is referring to surface dwellers as lambs.
Right. It's part of my mission. It's nothing personal. Part of your mission is to eliminate surface dwellers.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you. How do I get out of this forest? Listen, you just told me you got to kill me. Why do I want to help you? I have no drive to help at the moment. Are you lost? Just answer my question. How do I get out of here? Sorry, but I'm looking for the way out of here too. Oh, I too am lost in the lost woods.
Indeed.
How long are you just going to stand there like that? If you're going to shoot me, then hurry up and do it. Probably better off that way anyway. What an odd thing to say. Don't you understand the situation you're in? Don't you understand that I blew up my home?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about my situation. I do appreciate that he's dealing with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a guy whose life is worthless. There's no point in me living anyway.
Faye is seriously depressed, and I can't say I blame him, given
yeah.
what he just went through.
If I was in his position, I would also be very upset.
Yup.
With myself.
Mm-hmm.
Stay back. Shoot me. Thank you. What are you aiming at? Here, shoot me here. Come on. In my miserable existence. Are you mocking me? You're weird. Something's very wrong with you. You should at least resist a little bit. Oh dear.
Wow.
What's this? Who are you? Ow. Hey, excuse you. Stop. Keep your hands off of Ellie.
Ellie.
Did she... Okay.
Go ahead.
Did she say something that implied Ellie? Like, I don't...
The answer is no.
Okay.
She did not say what her name is, or any... She didn't identify herself at all. We've defended, in quotes, Ellie. All right.
Are you all right? Hang in there.
She got, like, backhanded.
Yeah, she got a nice kick to the noggin is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Good, you finally woke up. You didn't move for so long that I started to worry.
I love this fire sound effect.
Oh yeah, that's good. It's not a common one you hear with games like this.
Yeah, it's all crackling and stuff. It's good. The sound design of this game is awesome, in my opinion.
Yeah. how are you feeling? Want some meat?
Got some hob jerky for you.
I've been drying it out for days.
I know. I have so much of it. Have some.
All right. Please take some out of my pockets. Do you still intend to kill me? Then go right ahead and shoot me. But you better not do it while we're in this forest. Forest monsters hate loud noises, you know?
He's kind of staring at him.
Sprechen Sie Dutch? Fine, don't talk to me if you don't want to. But it wouldn't kill you to thank me for tending to your wounds. Thanks, but you shouldn't have helped me. Don't think it will save your life, though. It really doesn't change a thing. Boy, this relationship's off to a great start. What are you so afraid of? I'm not afraid. I'm just being cautious. It's natural for me to be this cautious considering I met such a suspicious surface dweller lamb.
I greatly enjoy, just to take a pause for a second, some words have those dashes around them.
Mm-hmm.
And I always kind of read it as surface dwelling lamb or something. I don't know if that's the inflection.
Like an emphasis. Some surface dwelling lamb.
Yeah, I believe it's to denote terminology. That's kind of loaded terms.
Right.
It's interesting.
Yeah, so it's either emphasis, like with vocal inflection, or it's their way of highlighting, because I'm assuming throwing out a different color or anything there would kind of detract from what's happening, so it's a little less intrusive.
Yeah, that could be a hardware limitation too, like of the engine.
I mean, maybe. I didn't want to make that assumption, especially when the triangle is orange, or whatever that is.
Red, reddish, orangish, pinkish, whatever.
Yeah. A color.
Yeah. Different color.
Well, don't you worry. I'm not going to do anything. Besides, you're much more suspicious than I am. See it from my point of view. Huh? You jabbered at me in a different language and then pointed a gun at me.
Yeah. Like, what am I going to do about this? You seem to be the one in control here. Whatever.
Right. I'm just a dude who blew up his town, but that's irrelevant at the moment.
Yeah.
So, what's your name? I won't give my name to a surface dwelling lamb. Yeah, I think it's just for terminology at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What's with you, this lamb thing? Why so much disdain? We're both lost in this forest, surrounded by dangerous monsters. Shouldn't we at least be cooperating with each other until we get out of here? Then you can shoot me in the back of the head.
Right.
Alright, good. So what's your name? It's going to be hard for us to cooperate with one another without at least knowing each other's names. I'll start. Anyway, my name is Fei Fong Wong. You can call me Fei. Or Beautiful Square King, if you really feel being. Your Highness will be sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Elheim, but my parents called me Ellie.
Elheim.
Elheim? Okay.
Yep. Elheim is the pronunciation of that name.
Elheim.
Yeah, so just to pause momentarily, Elheim is it's kind of a combination of El and Chaim. I'm not sure if I'm doing that right, but it is Hebrew. Translates to God of Life. It is also similar to Elohim, which if you're reading your Bible and you see Lord, that's what that is. That's Elohim.
Right.
Eli, by contrast, is Greek for sunray.
Interesting. So it still applies even as a shortening.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
It's a pretty cool shortening as well. And
I'm sorry,
it's okay.
I knew as soon as I read the name Elheim, I was like, that's a weighty name. That's got some thought behind it.
Elheim is important as a name. And it's very interesting. It's crafted in a very interesting way. Yes, and if you recall, Faye already knew her name.
Yeah, that's where I was like, but
Somehow I already
Yeah.
knew that.
Right. Somehow I already knew that. So. Huh?
What?
Another JRPG with an orange-haired party member.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's too dangerous to travel in these parts this late at night. Let's wait till daybreak before we continue looking for a way out of here. If that's okay with you. Feeling some snark coming from Faye here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we have no choice, do we?
I mean, she's being very threatening and aggressive and stuff, and yeah.
Okay then, Ellie. How about having something to eat? Like this hot jerky.
Exactly.
It's probably overcooked because we sat here for so long, waiting for you to answer my questions.
Kind of zoom up to the stars there.
Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
Memory?
Wait! Hey! Don't leave me here! Wait!
You must be lonely here by yourself. Faye. Faye. Faye.
Wake up.
Wake up. She had the cross symbol necklace thing that we saw previously.
That was kind of swinging back and forth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I assume. I didn't really get a good look at it, but the way it glinted, I'm assuming that's what it was. Similar sound effect, too.
You're correct.
Faye? Faye?
Very.
Hello? Hello? Are you awake? Smack him. Oh, okay. We'll just right into it.
All right, we have another party member. So let's take a look at Ellie real quick.
She's so weak at level 4.
She's only level 4.
Wow, she is light.
Yeah. Yeah, she's 92.4 pounds. Half the weight of Faye. Chonker over here, Faye.
Good gracious. She's
Fades
like
his
skin and
eggs.
bone.
Yeah.
At 92.
She joins not knowing any death blows currently. We'll fix that a little bit.
That's why she missed. She didn't know how to do a death blow.
So she does have multiple abilities. If you'll notice, these are ether abilities, and they're different elements. So lightning, earth, ice, and fire.
Ah, she's a caster.
Yes, she has very high magical ability. We can see that from her ether stat there.
Awesome. I've been meaning to ask. Sorry, can you go back to the abilities real quick?
Yes.
So in like the bottom right-hand side, there's an E&M SGL.
Yes.
I'm seeing a lot of these like abbreviated letterings. Like even with items and stuff. What is up with that? Is that something we talked about and I just forgot, or like
this attack that we have selected hits a single enemy?
Oh.
Yeah, it's just kind of abbreviated oddly. Guided shot is the same way.
Gotcha. So the ALY SGL is a single ally then.
Yeah, it says it
which
on
I think
items,
was for
yeah, probably Aquasol.
Like Aquasol, yeah.
Ally,
okay.
Yep, single ally.
It's just a weird way to like abbreviate single, I guess. So I wasn't really sure what I was looking at, and
Yep, that is what that means. You can use it on a single ally, or cast the abilities on a single enemy. Death blows, did they say that? No, they're just kind of hanging out there. But yeah, that is what that means. And we now have Ellie in our party. The other thing to note about her is she has a weapon equipped, the magical rod. So
which we're about to get an upgrade for.
yes, we are. The pilot uniform, and I believe all of these are things that are only really used. I think the ether and anti-ether stone you can use on other people if you want, but they're kind of best served on her, at least for now. And I think she's the only one that can use the pilot uniform accessories, and she's the only one that can use her weapon type as well. So we're gonna leave her how she is and give her. There is an upgrade to her staff in this forest as well.
Nice.
So now I got to reorient myself here. Just poke around.
Right. So I think if we head south from here,
Okay.
is what it seems like.
Go up here.
Trying to see if I'm reading this map correctly as part of the problem. Yeah, because there's an aqua soul on the floor there.
Okay.
And there's a chest there.
Yeah, that's should be a couple of useful things, and then there's another one near a save point, right?
Yeah, there's a yeah. So I think the one you're heading toward might be the arcane rod, maybe. If it's not, it'll be the survival tent. But there's two different jump spots, so if you pursue the enemies that are jumping away from you, they should both lead to those different areas.
Perfect.
But yeah, one is right by a save point, one is kind of diagonal northeast of it.
She has kind of a fun fighting style. And immediate level up. Screamer! I believe Screamer is her first death blow. I think that
was fast.
The green text, yeah. I think she already had a bit of proc. Yeah, there's her first death blow. So we have her first one already. Let's see here. These are both down here.
Okay, yeah. So that's probably the survivor tent there, and the aqua soul is across the way.
Over here, maybe.
And on the floor.
All right.
Yeah. So if you the aqua soul's on the floor right there in the white bag. If you've chased them, they'll jump across, and that will take you to the right over there, that chest.
Yeah.
That's your upgrade for Ellie.
Hard to see there.
Yeah.
Let's grab this. Arcane Rod. All right. We jump in celebration, not because I forgot what the menu button was. There we go. +2 attack.
4 hours in, and we're still wondering which one is the jump button.
Yeah. We're going to fight.
We knew what we were getting into.
That's right. You know what channel you're on.
That's right.
Yeah, we should be able to... Yeah, let's trap her death blow. Literally screams at the enemy, yep.
I'm sure it's just the angle that the sprite is standing, but it looks like she's slamming her knees together. And I can only imagine that is a painful experience.
Yeah. Yeah, she has an interesting battle stance, so I'll put it that way. Ellie, what are you doing? Let's see. I do compulsively check my death blow progress. Can I get up there? I don't think so. I think drop down and get items probably here.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, you probably could, but I don't know that there's anything worth getting up there aside from fighting them. And then there's your item.
Get back up there in order to get to the, to go around. I think. Over
I think
here.
you have to drop down for the Yeah,
we go back up here. Ah. Terrain. Let's see. Chase this guy down. Hey. I don't remember if there's random encounters in this section.
there hasn't been so far, at least.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm understanding this map a little better.
Oh, yeah.
Its layout isn't quite what the forest layout is, and so I was getting a little turned around.
Easy to do.
Yeah.
Think. Plenty of hob jerky, so if you're not doing grinding like I am, like you probably won't have too many problems with having a decent supply of hob jerky.
Yeah, so you can hop across that way.
Yeah, let's go. We're gonna get rid of these guys.
Yeah. And then if you cross that bridge, you can probably get the save point and the last item.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. We're going to be hostile to the local wildlife, you know.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
Right.
Yeah, you'll notice sometimes damage appears in red. That means the enemy is blocking, so they take reduced damage. You don't have a lot of control over that happening. It just kind of happens sometimes. I believe most of the time it happens when you use heavy attacks or X attacks. But that could also be a cognitive bias. Like, hey, it's most noticeable when you're trying to do big damage kind of thing.
Right.
So. Oh, yeah. Here's a random.
Just different from the last experience, which was every couple of steps.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do a couple kicks here.
Actually, this is a mandatory forest fight.
This is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because of our location, basically.
Fair enough. Alright. Down here.
Flutter.
Flutter.
Flutter bee.
Alright, let's try out one of her. We'll use Animo Bolt. Zap.
Nice. Annihilated.
Yup.
Feel my wrath. Moonstones.
We got a Zeta Sol for that.
But what about a Betazol?
We need to go back and get that item now.
We do. I guess getting that close triggered the cutscene. Faye. Yesterday you said that your life was worthless. What did you mean by that? Now's really not the time. Why are you asking? Why? Yesterday you looked like you had a death wish. You think it wouldn't make me wonder? Say, how did you get stranded in this forest in the first place? Oh, I just wandered in.
Starting to ask questions there, Ellie.
I know. I should ask you the same question. I crash landed in here. Oh, well, I have a gear. It broke down. I ran away from my village, or what's left of it. Village? You don't mean Lahan. It was a small village that existed between this forest and the mountain range. I ran away from there. That village? It was a nice, peaceful village. Everyone there treated me like family. Then, last night, a group of gears suddenly appeared and started fighting right in the middle of the place. The village was engulfed in flames, and I couldn't just stand there and watch Lahan be destroyed. So, to try and save the villagers, I got in an empty gear. I didn't even know how to operate it. I just thought maybe I could do it. No, it was more like someone whispering to me. Someone whispering to me, telling me to do it. But it was a disaster. The village... Was it destroyed by the Kiss of Army? Faye? No. The village was destroyed by me. Yes, it was me. I destroyed Lahan. I'm sure of it. What do you mean you destroyed it? I thought you were trying to help save the villagers. I did try to help. I actually took out a few gears. Somehow. But then I came under heavy fire from a new group of gears. And they killed my best friend, Timothy. He was hit by a hail of bullets. And I just lost it. Everything just went dark. I don't remember anything after that. The gear I was in went out of control. Well, that's what the doc said, at least. When I came to the village, everyone in it was Alice. She was such a... Alice and Timothy. Oh God, everybody, all such good people. Went out of control. The gear? What about the village? Faye? Come on, I need you to keep track.
Digging.
Yes, the gear. What? Damn them. They're still giving chase. We've entered Ava. I'll get there eventually. I'm not giving up now.
Note out of the window, one of those gears should look familiar. This gear is too important.
That's done it. I'm at a disadvantage now. And Newton, what's wrong? Respond. Oh, that was not her. That shrapnel in my back. Apologies. I realized there were several people. My thruster's output is dropping. I can't maintain altitude. Damn it, everyone. Regroup on the ground. We'll have to engage them. Wow, that went so fast.
Yeah, the text goes a little fast in that scene. They called Van Houten. That is Ellie's last name.
Ah. Oh, okay, so we saw those gears, didn't we?
Right, they had to emergency land outside of Lahan.
Oh, that's the ones we saw first, and then we actually made it to Lahan, and it was a different set.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was the case, and I thought maybe I was misremembering.
Nope, yeah, they were being pursued by a group of gears that we didn't see in that scene, but we've seen them before in the previous scene, because she's linking her experience with what happened to Faye.
Right. If they had never come to the village, never started fighting there, then I wouldn't have tried to pilot the gear. It's all their fault, not mine. They're the ones to blame. If they'd never come, none of this would have... If not for them... Them! Enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
You're a coward.
Mm.
A coward? Me? Yes, you're a coward. All you're saying is them. Don't talk as if you had no part of the blame as well. I'm to blame? Yes, that's right. Of course the direct cause of the battle was that a gear made an emergency landing in your village.
How do you know that, Ellie?
But all Kislev wanted was the gear, right? They weren't invading or out to destroy Lahan. Except for they were shooting down civilians and blowing up the town.
Mm-hmm.
The real damage occurred because you climbed in the gear and tried to fight back. Oh, so see, you're doing the exact thing he's doing.
Yep.
Pushing the blame off of yourself.
Yep. They're both trying to push the blame off of themselves in this encounter.
Pot, meet kettle. Whatever made you get into that gear? Not just anyone can pilot them. It takes training. There's no way a civilian could hope to pilot one. Pushing out some lamb. Besides, you should have been helping the villagers flee to safety instead.
Stupid lamb. Typical lamb.
Typical lamb. How can you blame the damage on a gear when it was your decision to fight it in the first place? Why don't you take some responsibility for yourself? Why are you putting all the blame on others? That's just running away. That's what makes you a coward. Again, who landed there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you put it like that way, yes, that's right. I am a coward. I didn't realize my own strength, and I've been blaming what happened as a result of that on others. I'm a pitiful excuse for a man, but I just felt this rush of blood in me, and I couldn't help myself. Couldn't help myself. Or help others. What do I do?
Kind of curls up into a ball there.
Yeah, it's silently weeping at this point, I'm sure. Hey, I'm...
Experiencing a little regret there, Ellie is.
Yeah. Shut up! What do you know? I know. You guys don't know anything about each other's situation. Maybe don't make assumptions.
Stop sparring and making assumptions, yeah.
At least they're trying to use their words incorrectly, but...
They're trying.
Yeah. When I came to, I was surrounded by piles of rubble. I didn't know what had happened or what I had done. I remembered absolutely nothing. All I knew was that my hands could still feel what they had done. The only things that penetrated the gear's barrier were screams. Yikes. Screams accompanied by the stench of blood, the sound of crushing bones, and my own curses. Look at my hands. Can you hear their voices? Can you understand this feeling? The feeling of having destroyed your village with your own hands? Of not being able to do anything for the children left behind? Now they have nothing. I have nothing. I have nowhere. No one. I didn't want to get in it. I had no choice. There was no other way. Okay, bye.
She's got to go.
She just bounces. Wow. All right, bye. Why did I go and say that to him?
You talk as if it's not your responsibility.
No. I didn't do anything.
They died because you had to pilot the gear and start fighting.
It wasn't me. Can't you understand?
Oh, man. She's talking to herself. That's really what's happening here.
Not just anyone can pilot those machines, you know.
I didn't do it.
Why won't you take responsibility?
I'm not so strong.
Why are you trying to put the blame on others?
I'm not even all that talented.
You're a coward!
That's right. I'm a coward.
Saying the same
Ellie.
thing.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. I am a coward. Oh. Acts of cowardice do not necessarily make you a coward.
Problems.
Get in my belly. Are you hungry? Nom 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 nom.
Ah!
Maybe too much levity for such a serious moment. Oh no.
All right, so we're gonna grab this.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad that it.
Yeah, I thought I
was the last
remembered.
item.
I'm pretty sure I do this every time I come through here. So.
Well,
Yeah.
At least it's a consistent experience for you.
Yeah. I drop down. I'm like, oh, I have to watch this whole cutscene, and then there's an item right there. I need to get the item. Give me the item. But yeah, we're gonna go save Ellie. Let's roll. Whoa. Hey, I'm getting the hang of this again. Here we go.
Ellie.
Jeez. He's just not having a good day.
I'm shocked she wasn't in his mouth, honestly.
I know, right? All right, we got this.
Ellie, are you all right? Darn, she's unconscious. Really? That's the time you censor yourself?
Uh-huh. Darn!
Oh, dag flabbit.
All right. So, we're fighting a boss. Let's try a death blow, shall we? Rancor Dragon.
The Rancor.
Yeah. So...
Just get his head crushed in a gate, it'll be fine.
Exactly, yeah. The keen eyes may see a similarity to a certain creature from another universe. It's not the last time we're going to see a Star Wars reference.
Or is Star Wars showing us a Xenogears reference?
Exactly.
Except for they came out in the 70s. This is 98, so...
Meh. Time. I'm being very linear right now.
Time to get you silly mortals in your linear thinking.
Ow. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and use one of these Aqua Souls. By the way, we did just get a Zeta Soul. That's a Phoenix down, to put in Final Fantasy terms.
Oh, okay, cool.
Not too useful for us while we're the only person in the party, but we are starting to get these, and we can field up to 3 people in a party, so they will be useful in the long run.
Nice.
Let's keep just comboing him. Come at me, dragon. I'm not afraid of you. I doesn't afraid of anything.
Hey!
Look at that.
Oh, it's the land crab.
Uh-huh.
Wait, is its purpose to actually carry gears?
It is capable of it, at least.
Right. Faye, I've been searching for you. Here, you can use this. Take your Gundam and put it in its stupid face.
Exactly.
Hey, hold on a second. To tell me I can use it is one thing. Ellie. Damn it. Doc, I have a favor to ask. I will defeat this monster. But if it looks like I'll go out of control like last time, then shoot me. Hey, let us pray that won't happen.
Citan, here to help. All right. We are back in gear combat mode here. Yeah, I believe. Let's go ahead. So, I don't know if I outlined this before. You notice on the left we have attack level 0. So I'm going to go ahead and do an attack. Every time you do an attack without doing a combo, your attack level goes up. This is the basics of how to do a gear-based combat. Now that I'm at attack level 1, if I open with a weak attack, I can do a combo, which is what I did before. You do the Raigeki combo there.
But you have to be attack level 1 to do a combo?
Correct. So... Oh, he slowed me. Let me fix that real quick, and then I'll demonstrate. Alright, so another thing that Gears can do, they have this option called Booster, which I'm going to turn on. So Booster will consume a... and you see on the right, Booster is on. on that right panel there.
Right.
And the time gauge is going crazy up top there. Booster is haste, but it will use extra fuel every round. So you may have seen it said 24 fuel. Every round, it will consume an additional 24 fuel. However, you will go a lot faster as a result. You can also recharge some of it with the charge command. So I charged a bit of fuel. I did do a net gain because I believe charge is 30 fuel right now. But there's not a lot of point to doing it with booster on. If you really want to charge, you can turn booster back off here by just selecting it again, and it will go back to normal speed. Booster, as you've seen, also counters slow, which is useful.
Yeah.
But yeah, here if I use a weak attack with triangle, no option to combo because I'm not attack level 1. Now I am, so I can combo. Attack level 1 combos start with triangle. There are multiple levels, as I'm sure you can infer. And so, like, level 2 starts with square, level 3 starts with X.
Gotcha.
I think I might be able to get him here with this next combo. This is not a hard boss in a gear. There we go. We only have one gear combo at the moment because it goes off of your character's death blows, and we only have one death blow right now with Faye. So as we get more, we will get more gear combos as well.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Level 9. Let's see if we learned anything. Nope. We did get scales, which I don't remember exactly what that is. I think it's kind of a material.
Right. Hey, are you all right? Yeah, I guess so. That fight with the Rancor was remarkable. An ordinary gear could not defeat that monster. You certainly keep yourself in good shape. Why did you bring this here, Doc? This? You mean Weltal? Weltal?
Let me help you. Veltal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the German W. Okay. Veltal.
Yeah. Veltal is a German name. And that is the name of this gear. I'm going to pause for just a moment to describe what the meaning of Veltal is. I've been waiting for this. Veltal is a combination of the German words Welt, which means world, and all, which means cosmos. So all cosmos, or you can take it to mean universe or space if you want to. Space!
Space!
But yeah, that's Phase Gear's name is Veltal.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Veltal. This is the gear that destroyed our village.
Also, relevant question: how Citan knows the name of the gear?
Yeah.
How do you know that? Is it in the specs? Where'd you find that, Citan? Were you like going through it and repairing it? He does seem to tinker with stuff and just knows how to do things.
Yeah, I kind of think, regardless of what else he is, he may also not be a lamb, since we have that terminology now.
Fascinating. Why do you say that?
Well, just because of his knowledge. Like, this, I don't think someone who's a lamb is going to be able to look at a gear and go, I can figure it out. You know, like...
Sure.
No, it could be that for the last, who knows how many years, he's been tinkering with various things. And so he's just learned to read, like, the diagnostics and get it to procure its name on, like, a HUD or whatever.
Right.
But... I don't know. He's too knowledgeable about a lot of things for me to think that he's somebody who was like born and raised on the surface.
That's a good thought. He does seem to know a lot of things. Yeah, it just kind of adds to the question: what are you, Citan? What's your objective? What are you doing?
Which, of course, if we're talking about like the spiritual soul bonding that we kind of alluded to before, then maybe that knowledge is coming from that other entity. But again,
it's an interesting idea. Yeah.
All I have are theories and noodles to throw at the wall.
That's right. and that's what we're doing. And I have nothing to add.
That's fine.
But yeah, I like this theorizing. This is interesting thoughts and a lot of weird implications from the start of this game.
Right.
Citan very clearly is a very interesting. I really like him as a character. He's very, very intriguing.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to the end of this game and I'll still be like, I'm confused.
Well, we are going to be there are going to be several episodes of this that are very lore heavy, but for now we are going to just keep driving the narrative forward and covering what we can. But
Yeah,
there are
sure.
episodes, I'm sure veterans of this game will know, like there are going to be some episodes where it's like, all right, we're going to have a discussion as this episode, and the game is dictating that we're going to have a discussion.
Right. It seems like the pacing's done pretty well, though. So you're not just dealing with constant exposition dumps.
Yeah, it's not only like it flows, and it's very grounded in the characters. Just one
Right.
of the things I love. You even like we've got maybe 20 lines of dialogue from Ellie, and we sort of get who she is and some of the thing. We may not know all the specifics, but we sort of understand her personality. We understand
Right.
Citan's personality phase. We even understand Dan's personality to an extent.
Right.
So, but yes. The gear that destroyed our village.
Why did you bother bringing it here? I never want to see another gear again.
Understandable.
I understand how you must feel. But in order to protect yourself, you need a certain degree of strength. Even more since we are being pursued. I agree that a certain degree of strength is needed for self-defense. And if it weren't for this gear here, Ellie and I'd be in that Rinkar's stomach right now.
True.
But its power goes beyond what is necessary. Does one really need the power to destroy everything?
It's a good question.
It is.
I
I don't need that kind of power. I just hate gears. Yeah, that's a fear response more than a true hate response.
Definitely.
Or rather,
And
maybe
trauma.
hatred cited by fear. Yeah, exactly. And
Trauma
trauma.
response. Yeah. Like he was
mean,
just
that's-
he went through something horrible. It is totally understandable that he's just like,
Right.
I hate these things.
Well, and not only these things, but he had to get back in the same one he used that destroyed Lahan.
Yep. The
That's
same
even
one.
more of a problem. So,
Absolutely.
Faye, using power or being used by power, is that not a problem of the heart? If humans do not use their power for wrong, it can be a good thing. I believe such power can help us. In that respect, I know you'll be fine. It sure helped you out this time.
Faye, gears don't kill people.
People kill people, yeah. But there is some legitimacy to that, right?
Am I right?
Am I right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
power, like obviously Faye has a point. You don't need power to destroy everything. You just need enough to get by with whatever you're trying to do.
So there's a couple of sides to it, right? So we've got this
Right.
giant robot, and it's a weapon, and Faye wielded it in a controlled manner just now to save Ellie and
Right.
lead to a good result. He also nuked his entire village. So we've got two examples of the weapon going out of control and him controlling the weapon.
Right.
But why?
And well, yeah, so like he was emotional
Mhm.
in Lahan. Here, he's probably emotional still, but like it's different.
Yeah, he seemed a little
Actually-
more focused this time.
Focused, he's not in a panicked state. He's trying to help Ellie, but Ellie doesn't have the same relationship he had with Alice and Timothy and all these people at the village, where he was just so desperate.
Yep.
And also dealing with whatever the vision was and everything else. So there's that element.
The vision and the direction from whoever was commanding the forces to kill his friend, to
Right.
gun down Timothy, right?
Right. There was an intentionality behind that
Mhm.
seemed unnecessary.
It was very intentional.
Cruel,
Yeah.
even.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
I can understand Citan's point of view where it's like the power is here whether you want it or not. So it's best to learn to control it
Yep.
and use it to your greatest benefit.
Agreed.
And
Mhm.
it kind of makes you think of, Avatar Last Airbender when Aang is trying to learn firebending, right?
And he is traumatized by what happened with firebending, yeah.
Right. For those who haven't seen it, I'll try to be as minimal spoiler as possible, but he's trying to learn firebending and he rushes it, right? And someone gets hurt because of it. And he swears off firebending from that point on until he is forced to face his fear.
He has to use firebending.
Right. He's required to use it to even get to a point where he needs to be to reach the further, like the higher states of being that he is trying to get to be the Avatar.
Yeah, the Avatar needs to master all 4 elements.
Right.
That includes fire.
Right. And so he's at war with himself. And I think there's something very poetic that who his teacher ends up being is a symbol of that inner turmoil that he's been dealing with.
Absolutely. You said he was at war with himself. Don't mind me. All right.
I want to believe that, but something is holding me back. This gear. Well, it's not holding you at all. Well, whatever. At least Ellie is safe now.
Whatever. These weird feelings. Ellie's safe. That's all that matters.
Right. I will deal with these emotions later. Which sometimes that's all you can do.
Yep.
But she seems to have come too. Huh? I am Citan, a friend of Faye's. You almost did not make it. If Faye had not have helped you, I hate to think what may have happened. But I was not too pleased with his rashness in trying to take on that Renkar with just his bare fists. He's stupid. Bare fists?
Faye will punch everything.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to find a use for what I brought you. Huh? Let us just say we are borrowing that what the Kislev army left behind. Except for that's not a Kislev gear, is it?
So, very clearly, when it comes to the conflict where Veltal was involved, it's an artifact of the war. So Kislev was involved. I don't know how Citan knows that the Kislev army left it behind. However, we also don't know, like, Ellie seems to be wearing a uniform of some kind.
Right. Well, okay, so
what's her allegiance? What's going on here, right?
Sure, right. And I'm not saying that he would know this without having extenuating knowledge, but it was even in the depictions of these gears, there are clear, like, aesthetic differences between Av and Kislev.
True.
Like, Av's shapes were very different than the Kislev army shapes.
That's true. Yeah, Kislev
think he
seemed to
could at
have
least-
more rounded shapes, I think.
Right, like they looked like they were wearing like an actual breastplate, whereas Kislev's was more angular and like they had the weird wing things on the back. And
Yep.
so I think there's some element of, even if he wouldn't have known as a lamb, he would have known necessarily that one's Av and one's Kislev.
It
He
does
would've-
stand to reason that this is part of the Av-Kislev conflict, right?
Right. And he would have recognized that these were two different factions.
Right.
So there's probably some kind of like logical connections you can make. Also, we don't actually know how much these towns see gears, especially with an ongoing war, because the implication is this war's been going on, right? It's not like it's just
For a
suddenly
long
starting.
time. Yeah, it's a really
Right, so-
long conflict.
Even though they're a border town, I'm sure they've seen gears fly overhead before.
Oh, yeah.
Or something. So maybe there's some element of just recognizing from the gears.
That looks like an
Oh.
Av gear. That looks like a Kislev gear. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I could see that. Let's see.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, firing with Kislev army left behind.
Yes.
Interrupting every 3 thoughts. Oh. Thank you, Faye. This makes twice. Don't mention it. I just want to put it on your tab. I'll just put it on your tab.
Yeah.
Making jokes, are we?
Uh-huh.
It is getting dark. both physically and this conversation. Let us make camp now and start out early tomorrow. The both of you would look tired, and I need to make some repairs on our friend here.
More campfire sounds.
I like this campfire sound because it's fluttery.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool. It feels cozy, I feel like.
It is no use. The knee actuator and bypass circuit are both ruined. The actuator can be fixed, but the circuit needs to be replaced. What? Okay, so is that a secondary lens on his glasses? Like the ones that like a jeweler's glasses, you know, where they have like the...
Yeah, he can bring it down for magnifying effect is always how I took it.
Okay, I just couldn't tell if it was a curl or a lens. And as I'm looking at it more, I realized it's a secondary lens.
It's very... I don't know if it's steampunky, but it's definitely got some, like, weird... There's some advanced... He has advanced glasses.
He got the premium brand.
Yeah. I mean, he's very
Masterwork.
clearly... Yeah. He's good with... And very clearly he can do maintenance on a gear as well, right? So he's very good at dealing with technology.
I take them to be like tinkerer's glasses. Not,
Yes.
I mean, the implication would be like jewelers, but specifically because he is constantly tinkering with things, he probably uses them so he can see like the small screws and stuff. It's something that I would probably really benefit from when I was doing all that phone repair in a previous job.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I could see the magnification helping there.
Right.
Same thing, really. You're working on technology.
Right. And just being able to see where the small details are. Oh, having trouble sleeping there? Yeah. I imagine you would. You have had quite a day. This is the machine Faye used when the village was attacked. There was another machine left sitting on the outskirts of the village. Nilbaya Dars Legus? It was yours, right?
Right, so Citan is...
Are you?
Yeah, Citan is speaking another language. If you recall a couple of... I don't know, maybe an hour ago, a couple of minutes ago, Ellie was not speaking, we'll call it basic, or English.
The common language?
Common language, yeah. Yeah, and now Citan is speaking to her in something he perceives that she would understand, with the translation below it for our benefit.
Yeah. Just as I thought. The missing pilot from the gear that made the emergency landing in Lahan. And the mysterious woman found wandering lost in the forest are actually one and the same person. Judging from your uniform, I could also say you are with the military. Am I correct? How? Who are you? Great question.
That's
I
our
would love to
question,
know the
Ellie.
answer.
That is our question, too. Asking the relevant questions.
I checked the ID tags of the soldiers who died in the attack on the Han. The design on their tags and the design on your uniform there is the same. Do not worry, they were given proper burials. But they may not have been too pleased to die in a foreign land. Maybe. Does Faye know about you? I don't think he has realized yet. Most likely, Faye knows nothing of the world outside of Lahan. I see. So how come... In any case, it is best that if we do not pry into each other's pasts anymore. Shut that conversation down right now.
You see, it's very interesting, this statement, because she didn't do any prying into his past, other than asking, "Who are you?" which he didn't answer.
Right.
And now he's like, maybe we should stop. Like, you have inferred multiple things accurately about this person, and then you're like, all right, we're done now.
Right.
It's
that is more for his own protection than it is for her.
He's very calculated with how he's approaching this conversation, which is very
Right.
interesting.
Very intentional. But
Yeah.
let us just say that I know a little more about the world than most do. because I'm not from here. Anyway, Ellie, I have a favor I must beg you to do. Leave. What is it? Go straight ahead and you will come to a road. Then just keep going. Would you please leave us while Faye is still asleep?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunate things keep happening around Faye. I would like to protect him if possible. I do not want him caught up in any vain struggles. I am also saying this for your benefit. Ellie, you do not belong here. Go back to your family. I was in a hallway full of dead bodies. Family might have been part of that. We don't know yet. Do not worry. I will not tell Faye what your true identity is. We lived in space. I will. Just tell him you went to meet up with your family. No, it's not that. I did something terrible to him. So I want to apologize. Something terrible? Faye told me it was our fault your village was destroyed. Faye kept saying if only they hadn't come. And then I called Faye a coward because he was trying to escape from the responsibility. But in fact, it was me who was trying to escape from taking the blame. If I hadn't crash-landed there, they would all still be living peacefully now. All those innocent people wouldn't have been caught up in that tragedy, but I accused Faye. You are a rarity. I did not expect you people to ever think like that.
So, just a brief pause here. This is a very keen observation by Citan. If you recall, when Ellie first was pointing a gun at Faye, she was calling him a lamb and saying, you know, like, and Faye was just, hey, go ahead and shoot me. I don't care. Go ahead.
Right.
She was being very threatening and very condescending. And now she's like, I caused all of this destruction. If I hadn't crash landed, none of this would have happened. They could have gone on living their lives. And Citan is impressed by this.
Yeah, because it seems like she's at least acknowledging him as an equal versus something inferior.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
To your people, surface dwellers are nothing more than domesticated animals, are they not? Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
The shepherds, able to control over the surface dweller lambs. Interesting.
All right. So, a couple more terms here. Abel, one of the sons of Adam and Eve. Specifically the one who was murdered by his brother Cain.
Who was also a shepherd. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Lambs being used in this context as well, talking about shepherds. Very interesting. So we've got some definite imagery emerging about whatever Ellie belongs to or is, as well. And, you know, Citan knows about this, right? Like, he's talking on her level.
Right. Well, and he also says your people, which means he doesn't identify himself with Abel.
He does not.
So,
which is interesting. What does that
Right,
mean?
and
They are of the same people, or does that mean he is not? He's just aware of them.
right. So this is, I know we keep getting sidetracked here, but like, so if she is from like, if they have like a space station colony or whatever, and they just kind of control the surface, so to speak, this because wherever she was at in her flashback, it was very futuristic at the very least. Very sci-fi spacey. So I'm just going with space right now.
Yeah,
but making that assumption.
Yeah, at least when it comes to the design of where she was in her flashback,
Right.
We'll call it a flashback, because
And the clothing too tends to be something you would see in a spacefaring race.
yeah. So Citan and Faye are clothed in more. We'll call it. I'm not even sure how to put it, but not as futuristic clothes. Right. And Ellie
They're
kind
just
of
in like
is.
linens versus like maybe
Yes.
like
Synthetic
a
fibers, polyester.
yes,
Yeah, exactly.
and so the question becomes, are there factions of people who are all space dwelling, right? And then you have Abel and you have these other factions that we haven't determined yet. Or is it the spacefaring people viewing themselves as the supreme entities. We're like, all right, we're going to take over this planet, Ignis, right?
Well, one thing I did want to cover, actually, because I think I misspoke a little bit. Ignis is the continent that we're on.
Oh, okay.
So Ignis is not the planet. Ignis does include Lahan, Av, Kislev, and everything we've heard about up until now.
Okay.
So I think it's also the biggest continent on this planet.
Okay. So the planet, then, whatever the planet is deemed, and anybody who are native to this planet, they're lambs. We will guide them to a better future, as so the propaganda would say. And so my assumption is that Citan is neither of these things. In a lot of ways, from the viewer perspective, the reader perspective, he is currently an omniscient narrator who is only giving pieces of information as we go.
Yep. From our perspective, he might as well be that. He seems to know more than Ellie does, even. And Ellie definitely knows more than Faye does.
He's kind of like, right now, he's kind of like the Tom Bombadil of this story, because he's going in and out and weaving, and like whatever is going on in the world, he's unaffected by it to some degree.
Right.
Like, and he's moving pieces. Like, it may seem like he's just coming to help Faye, and there is an element of that, but like, I have no misconceptions that he is also playing chess with somebody that we cannot see right now.
Playing chess, you say?
Yeah, there's a strategy being done here. He's trying to move pieces for something to accomplish. Now, those pieces movements might be to protect a piece, or it might be to push Faye into a destiny, because we have the dark destiny of God that was mentioned before. And so maybe he's accepting that that's Faye's role and he can't escape it, so now he's going to help guide Faye to give him the best chance of success. I don't know.
Perhaps.
There's a lot of unknown questions.
Yep, we don't know yet.
I am under no preconceptions that he's not manipulating the situation in some way, and not necessarily nefariously, right? Like, I'm not talking like a
with his level of knowledge, even if he has good intentions, he still seems to be manipulating things, right?
Right.
Surface-dwelling lambs.
Possessing the right to give life and death into them as they see fit. Yeah, there you go. To a new and glorious era. Exactly. Yet you seem to feel responsibility toward Faye and the villagers.
Also, what Ellie was saying seems like she was reciting something.
Yes, absolutely.
Which doesn't seem to be how she feels, really.
Right.
As Citan points out here, yeah, she feels responsibility.
Why is that? I don't know myself at all. I'm trying to understand myself. Jugend?
I believe it's Jugend.
Jugend? That would make sense. At Jugend, I was taught that surface dwellers were stupid and base. All right.
Yes. Okay. I do not know the meaning of Jugend. However, it seems a little German, doesn't it?
It does. And that is why we have to control them, but upon meeting Faye, something about him made you feel differently? They seemed human? Yes, he's no different than we are. In fact, he seemed more powerful. Well, that's because he's obnoxious. He possesses something we don't. And he also risked his life to save me. Twice.
He likes punching everything. That's what he possesses.
Yeah, right. He possesses a brick head.
Protagonist energy.
That's right. Most of your people would feel ashamed at receiving such an act. Yet you are grateful to Faye? It's probably because of my father. He had an open mind to surface dwellers. My nanny was a surface dweller. No one knew about her, though. Besides, I am the same as Faye. The same? No, nothing. Never mind. Yeah, I didn't think we were going to get that exposition yet.
Doesn't want to get into it.
I think I understand. I am sorry. After just saying we should not pry. It is my nature, you know. My wife says I'm too persistent and that I talk too much. But personally, I do not think I talk too much.
Keep talking, Citan. We love it.
Right. It is probably best if you return home to your country. You really should not be here. I'll return to headquarters, but then what? You're worried. Yes. Worrying is natural. Even I used to worry once too, you know? That's in quotes.
It is indeed in quotes.
Why is that in quotes?
That's a great question. I don't know that I have an answer right now.
Because you don't know, or because they give away too much?
I don't know right now.
What was it? I was known to worry once.
Even I used to worry too, you know. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to look up Jugend as well, just to see if I can get a little bit more. I am building a bit of a glossary on this game, and there's quite a lot of sources for that.
Yeah, I was adding that to my questions that I have no answers for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, Citan.
Oh, Citan. Yeah. Anyway, let me handle what to tell Faye. You had better go now.
In the middle of the night.
And don't use your gun. The animals of the forest will chase after you.
They will. Hotel music. Rested.
Has Ellie gone yet? Oh, so you're awake. Yeah, I woke up midway, so I only heard part of what you two were discussing. Oh.
Only midway.
Ellie. So that's what she is? Faye, she is... I know. It's not Ellie's fault. What happened to the village is all my fault. I took out all my pent-up feelings on Ellie. This music... Oh, it's so tense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one who should apologize. I love it, though. It's really
good.
building an atmosphere.
Yeah, the music in this game is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I meant to point this out last time, but it just didn't seem like a good opportunity since we're interrupting everything anyway.
Yeah.
The music, when we first see the gears, it only happens right at the beginning that I'm aware of.
Right.
But there's this, like... It almost sounds like radio chatter.
Yes.
Overlapping some of the like it's intelligent. It's not understandable, right? But I just loved it because it sounded like they were having a conversation and they were overhearing part of it as they were flying overhead.
Fascinating. Yeah, I think yeah, there's a lot of interesting sound effects. So the composer of this game is Yasunori Mitsuda. Absolutely brilliant. One of my favorite composers. He worked on Chrono Cross, as well as he's worked on a number of games. Very, very good. And he was there were a lot of pretty rough work conditions making this game. And so he had to seek medical treatment because of how hard he worked on this game. But I believe he's also gone on record as being proud of the work he did as well.
I mean, it was a huge passion project, it seems like, for a lot of everybody involved from what we've talked about so far, at least.
Yeah, I mean, from the creators of this game down to, everyone that worked on it, there's a lot of emotion, a lot of passion put into it, like you said.
Right.
But yeah, so Faye has kind of received Ellie's apology. Like, she stated multiple times she should apologize. The way I take this, I don't know exactly when he woke up, but he really didn't hear a lot of the kind of things he probably shouldn't know at this moment, but he did hear about the kind of circumstances that they were talking about halfway through the conversation. So
he missed all the terminology, but he caught that she was a pilot in one of the gears that it went to her town, his town.
From the military, she was forced to crash land. She feels responsible, but he's saying he's responsible.
Right.
Yeah.
Faye, do not blame yourself. It was not your fault either. You were just trying to protect the village. Thanks, Doc. By the way, how's everyone in the village doing? Do not worry. Huey's taking good care of them. I told her to leave soon and take them all to a certain place.
Where?
They should be safe for a while, so you just worry about yourself for now. I'm sure he's playing things close to the chest, even with Faye, for Faye's own protection too. If things are really as dangerous as being implied.
And Citan has resources, and he is able to assist. He's very able to do that. He's a very formidable individual.
He's very able.
He is very able to shepherd the lambs.
Mm-hmm.
He is able to shepherd the lambs.
Silly lambs. We're never gonna get through this cutscene. Okay, Doc. Now, to think what we should do next. Shall we leave this forest and head for the desert town of Dazil?
Yes, so Dazil is going to be our next destination. We'll get through this, and I'll explain kind of about Dazil a little bit.
Alright, we may learn what Arv and Kislev are up to, not to mention getting some parts for Veltal. The leader of Arv is not going to sit back and let the other knight's fiasco go by unpunished.
Okay, so we now have Citan in our party. The first thing I always notice about him is how much HP he has.
Yeah, that's a lot.
He has twice the HP of Faye, despite being 3 levels behind him. Also, very high attack power. Almost to the level that Faye has. No death blows currently. Sazanami is his first skill, and he has an HP restorative on a single.
He's a cleric.
Yes. Yeah. He also does not have a weapon equipped. Comes with some fencing wear. Hit percent boost from his glasses, evade percent from step shoes. We're just going to leave all that right where it is. It's pretty good. Not quite as chonky as our buddy Faye here.
Well, he more than makes up for it in his HP and EP. Good grief.
Yeah. Yeah, he is pretty crazy. Citan is awesome. Okay. All right, so now we are going to be making our way out of the forest here. I am going to grab a couple of battles here because it's going to be a good idea with our new party member here. Let's see. I think maybe there's not any battles in this little clearing we're in, so we can just go ahead and move on. What have we here?
It's a ship's base. I mean, a spaceship. What is that? I would assume it is an aerial battleship from Av. It's huge. An aerial battleship? I've never heard of Av having anything like that. Of course it does not come from Av originally. Most likely it belongs to Gebler forces stationed in Av.
Yeah, so if you recall from the intro, Gebler is assisting Av in the conflict.
That's right.
So that is probably a Gebler ship.
Interesting. Gebler? Who's that? Special forces from the Sacred Empire of Solaris, known as Gebler. Oh.
Yeah. So Solaris, pretty obvious meaning there. If you played Dark Souls, Solaire, basically the Empire of the Sun, if you will.
Oh, that makes the naming of Gebler makes sense too. Special forces, yeah.
Yep.
Which, as a reminder, judgment and fiery judgment, yeah.
Yep, Gebler, Gevura, fiery judgment, yep. From the Sacred Empire of Solaris.
Right. I'm sure you've heard of something.
Something about them, sorry.
It's all good. They're an organization providing large-scale military aid to the Kingdom of Av. They showed up in Ignis several months ago. Until then, Av was being routed by Kislev. But with Gebler's help, they have managed to regain half their losses. They are now expanding their territory and gathering resources buried in the ruins. How do you know all of this?
Good question. He's quite well informed.
Do you have a newspaper? Like, are you listening in on the radio? What's going on? I've heard the village elders talk about it. Is Ellie a part of that?
Citan just has really good Google skills. It's okay.
He's been scrying.
Mhm.
Quite possibly so. The group has superior technology and power. It is rumored they are here solely to get resources in the ruins. I'm surprised they are using something as powerful as that ship. Must be to suppress the recent border skirmishes. So they are fighting the Kislev Empire? Yes, it seems they have found new ruins on the northern edge of Av. Those ruins are under a 500-year-old temple. Well, not anymore. 3 weeks ago, Kislev took over those ruins. Most likely, they are fighting over that.
There you
Yeah,
go.
those ruins are going to be debris by the end of that fight.
They sure are. Oh my god. Camera. Oh.
It's not a good experience with a classic RPG without camera issues.
Yeah, indeed.
All right.
So we've made it out to the world map. We're going to grab some encounters here. We've got some familiar looking enemies here.
Sand people?
Yup.
My goodness.
Gonna make sure Citan learns his first death blow.
I didn't think it was going to take us nearly 2 hours to get through a forest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just so much to unpack. Is it going to be like this every episode?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong.
There is so much content in every scene. Okay, yeah, we're 70 through Ukigamo. So that's Citan's first death blow. It's recommended to try to learn at least his first 2. So up here is Dazil, which is our first destination, the city of Burning Sands. It is, I believe, a localization difference from Daijuru. But yeah, it essentially that's essentially the meaning of it. I'm going to do a couple of battles here in order to level our characters up here. But yeah, we can, while we're doing that, if you have any additional comments here, and then we can probably close it out and handle Dazil in our next episode.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be for the best. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I jot down things.
Mm-hmm.
So I have questions, but they're questions I've already mentioned. So maybe just for posterity, throwing them here on the back for reconsideration for the viewers who are like me, who have never seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know where Ellie came from.
True.
Well, we kind of do, right? Because she is part of Abel, or at least that's the implication.
The Able, yep.
Right. But she's also part of Av. So how are they kind of like working together in that regard? Or maybe she's not part of Av. Maybe she just happened to crash land there along with the Av and Kislev stuff happening.
Yeah, so she was very clearly involved with... so she was flying in formation with Veltal in the flashback we saw.
Right.
Citan mentioned that he was borrowing it from Kislev, which could imply that that situation was a group of Xenogears being chased by Av.
Right.
That is possibly... here is Citan's first death blow here, by the way.
Brutal.
Boom!
That was awesome.
Yeah, Citan is pretty great.
So, okay, so she might even be then with, again, the Able being what they are. Maybe they put their hands in multiple pots with wars and stuff. So,
right.
I don't know.
So we have now had the mention of the Sacred Empire of Solaris, which are directing the Gebler forces. The Gebler forces are associated with Av. When Faye asked if that's where Ellie was from, Citan did not give him a direct answer. He did say
right.
possibly. If Veltal is indeed a Kislev gear, then it's possible it was part of Ellie's group, and they were fleeing for some reason. It's also possible it was a Kislev gear that was part of, if Ellie was a member of the Gebler forces, maybe they ended up with a Kislev gear for some reason.
Oh, like maybe they had captured it because of something special about the gear.
Right, it's possible. There are a couple of potential explanations that present themselves based on what we have so far.
Right, so we really just don't know much about her at this point.
Right, and we haven't...
Aside from the confirmation of her being part of the Able, because of the way she talks about lamb.
The surface-dwelling lambs, yeah. She speaks a common language with Citan as well.
Right. But even beyond that, like, why did Faye know Ellie's name?
That's a very good question.
And, you know, we have this flashback that shows a woman whose silhouette looks like Ellie, even uses the same voice actor, I would assume.
They did sound similar.
Similarities. And she has that necklace that we saw in a previous cutscene with the cross, you know, and the ritual or whatever.
Right.
And she's reaching out a hand to Faye, so there's a connection there for some reason.
Addresses him by name.
Right. Is it the same person? Is this a prophetic vision he's having? Is this a memory he's experiencing? Like, because it's already clear that Faye, in his painting at least, was showing something that had yet to come to pass. So there seems to be some element of foresight or the third eye sight, you know, whatever you want to call it, like
sight
this external
beyond sight.
Right, this external vision of some sort, whether that's and I would assume that vision can extend in multiple directions, both past and future, right, or even present.
That's possible, yeah.
So, and maybe that's throwing more noodles at the wall. Maybe Citan can do something similar, and he just has control over it because he's practiced it.
That's an interesting idea.
So why did Faye know Ellie's name? And then the cutscene where we see Ellie in that hallway, surrounded by bloodied bodies, dead people.
Yeah, blood on her hands, literally.
Yeah, which, I mean, could have been being used symbolically, but also literally, right? Like, did she also, in her own past, lose control and end up killing all these people, or was she just a victim of something and survived it? But I mean, like, it implies that she was the one who did it, because she's the one looking at her hands in horror and being like, something came over me. I don't know what happened. How did this happen? You know.
Well, and the context of that conversation is she is deflecting responsibility to Faye. Faye is redirecting responsibility back to her. So in Retsu, we have our second death blow with Faye, and he's learned inner healing.
Nice.
We'll cover that here. But yeah, like, at the very least, whatever that flashback was, she feels responsible for it. And from the context on what just happened, we see that she feels responsible for what happened to Lahan as well.
Right. Yeah, because it's overlapping, right? They're similar enough that she is acknowledging that she is doing the same thing he was doing, which was pushing blame.
Right.
Which, good for her for acknowledging that in herself.
Yes. She's got some self-awareness, even if she kind of falls back on the defense mechanism.
Right.
Inner healing, real quickly here. Single ally can restore HP, a lot like Citan's Sazanami. Does about the same thing. Citan has a lot more EP than Faye, though.
Yeah.
And we are gradually learning his. Faye has his second one. I'll use it in the next fight. Triangle, triangle, X. So he is level 10. He now has a 5 bar, because that's necessary for that death blow.
Gotcha. Yeah, so, I mean, but that's, those are the questions. Like, obviously there's overlap, and there's pushing her own feelings on Faye, because she's projecting. But it seems like it's more than just what happened to Lahan, is all I'm saying there.
It does. Yeah, there's something, she's carrying some sort of trauma from her past as well.
Right. Then We have Citan who shows up, which, like, so many questions on that. But when he's talking with Ellie, he uses it in a quote format. Even I used to worry too, you know. Like, why is that quoted? Why is that not just a statement?
Yeah.
Unless it's quoting something that she might recognize, maybe from a story or poem or something, you know, like it could be a shared literature or artistic expression.
Right. So that's possible that's what that is. I don't remember it well enough to make a good statement about it, but it does seem like he's saying something. It seems like a colloquial thing, right? Like if I were to, I can't even think of a good quote, but yeah, and a good, like some sort of thing, like, oh, okay, I get what you're saying,
like
thing, right?
It's the equivalent of like he's crying over spilled milk, right? Like we understand that on a colloquial, anecdotal level, where it's like it's just milk, it's not a big deal. You know, it's okay to worry. Even I used to worry too, you know. And I'm assuming it comes from somebody who may have been like well known or whatever, however that passed down the etymology of it. So yeah, and then of course, you know, what is Abel? Why are they different from surface dwellers? Do they live in space? Do they live on the surface of the planet, but they just have their own like nation? Oh, you know, like how is that working? So tons of questions.
Yeah. So yeah, it really does depend. Is this we know of Solaris / Gebler. We know of Av. We know of Kislev. If we kind of think about the conclusions of what we have so far, we know Av and Kislev are in conflict. Gebler is largely siding with Av at this point. But why? What are they doing exactly? We don't know. So that's part of it. And then we've got all this language about Abel and lambs. Is that associated with what we were just talking about? Or is it just another faction or another group of people? Or perhaps it's some sort of hidden society. They also refer to lambs as surface dwellers. Does that mean they live in space? Does that mean they live in the sky? Does that mean they live underground? Like they don't live on the surface. That's all that implies.
Right.
But we have been talking about basically the Empire of Solaris of the Sun. I don't think they live underground.
Right. I've been making huge leaps on assuming where they live, but some of that comes from like the starting intro ship, right? The big spaceship. Anyway, but we can keep talking about this forever, and this video I think has gone on quite long enough. I'm sure our viewers like a break.
Yep.
So lots to unpack. If you have your own questions, your own thoughts, your own theories, toss them into the comments. Love to see them.
Absolutely.
But outside of that, as always, thank you so much for hanging out with us, for coming on this journey with us. And if you like what you've been watching, like, subscribe, support, share. Tell everybody how cool you think we are, or how lame you think we are. Either way, honestly. And yeah, just thanks for being here. And we'll see you in the next video.
Yep, absolutely. We are going to talk about a couple of the things we brought up next time as well. I'm going to do a little bit of checking, and we'll probably have a little more color. But yeah, we will see you next time. Next time we will be covering the City of Burning Sands, Dazil, and we'll be proceeding from there with more crazy stuff in Xenogears as the narrative deepens even further.
It's so heavy. So heavy, so fast. Anyway, y'all have a good day.
Have a good one, everyone. We will see you next time.
Yep. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Diddly diddly do 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 do. Thanks for watching.